Hi everyone, my name is Holly and today I am doing the anti-TBR book tag, which has been going around lately and some of you have wanted to see me do it, so why not? I need to jump on these trends anyways, right? This idea is actually very similar to a video I did last year called the anti-book haul, where I showed a list of books I wasn't interested in. I wasn't going to buy basically, so I'll try not to merge the two or mention duplicates. We're starting fresh here, an original list. Honestly, it's kind of hard to make one of these videos because oftentimes being a reader and someone who likes to think that they're open-minded about things in general, I don't really want to shut myself off of books. That just sounds horrible. Maybe one day I will have the urge to pick up one of these books. I mean, you never know. No one can tell the future. I'm not even the same person I was a year ago. Well, quarantine can do that to you. Even someone who hates romance, 40-year-old me, might love it. And I'm looking forward to that day. So subscribe to this channel, I guess, so you can watch 40-year-old me reading romance novels. You know, the ones with freaking Fabio on the cover. You'd love to see it. Okay, so let's just start off with a freaking banger, or anti-banger more like. Also, this is the only book I want to mention really quickly. All the rest are newer releases, but we just gotta get this one out of the way. Twilight. Even though I tweeted a while back, like, if my tweet got to around 500 retweets or something, that I would do a reading vlog of me reading Twilight for the very first time. But thankfully all of you saved me from the pain. You have my back. You're the holy grail of followers. But don't think I don't remember the ones who retweeted it. I see you. Okay, that one was boring. Let's go ahead and go to a more recent release with a cult following, and that's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I love the idea of historical fiction, and I feel like there has to be some niche thing about it to make me give it an eyebrow raise, and I'm not that interested in the time period of this and the setting. It's following a character who is the star of her century. She has dominated the big screen, and she has married 7 times, and each divorce has made her more famous. She gets interviewed and a story is told. And even though I really enjoy like noir movies and video games, reading about it is a format I really don't care for unless it's like really well done. Like the only noirish book I love is The Last Mile in Thunder City, and that's just because it's pure fantasy with monsters. It literally has me written all over it, and it's also very similar to a video game that I love, so I mean no wonder I freaking liked it. Oh, and even though I just recently found out that this centers on a queer woman of color and it wraps LGBTQ+ themes, which I love. Readers from marginalized communities need to see themselves in fiction. It's so important, and I'm glad this book is hyped because of that being a part of the story. Hollywood is just so boring to me though. The new Hunger Games book. I can't even remember the freaking title because it's trash fire. So like most people, I loved the Hunger Games. I think if you're a reader, like it's hard not to love it. It was really good. It was really well written, and I read it years ago, and that's just a formula you don't want to mess with. Why do you gotta release books in a series that released 500 years ago? Leave it be, but instead they're beating a dead horse like Haley Williams. Like, does it really add to President Snow character's development, or does it just regress him? Like, let's be honest. And I love villains. I could never be one myself. I am always the good guy in video games. When you have to make like choices, I am always there for the greater good. Like when Cyberpunk 2077 releases on Thursday, the city is going to be saved. But I don't want to know more about President Snow. I just don't. It's not nostalgic whatsoever for me. The next one is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Listen, I love Leigh Bardugo, but I really haven't been liking her most recent releases like Six of Crows or King of Scars, so I have zero plans on reading Ninth House. Nothing about this book really excites me besides the gothic cover. It has Leigh Bardugo written all over it, unironically. Another kind of raised in Los Angeles kind of character setting. I don't know. This could be a book that I'd be super into, but also I don't feel like finding the time to read it. I'm just lazy reading at this point, maybe. And being a girl who likes her swords, dragons, medieval themed, bloody, gory, grimdark books, Ninth House is like at the other end of the spectrum. And if it was added to my TBR, it would be at the very bottom. Red, White, and Royal Blue. I adore everyone's passion for this book. I loved seeing it pop up on my Twitter feed from people discovering it, and I'll just live vicariously through them because this isn't a book that's for me, unfortunately. What's honestly great about doing this type of video again is though I'm mentioning books I won't be reading, you might be discovering them for the very first time. Even though I highly doubt this is the first time you're hearing about this book, because it's incredibly hyped and everyone has talked about it, but I mean, this could be a book to change your life. You know, if it was red to represent blood, and white for a flag of surrender in an epic war, and royal blue for the scales on a dragon, then I'd pick it up. I'm so freaking lame. So this next one's going to need an explanation, but to sleep in a sea of stars. So I actually had started reading this one because I had planned to do a Should You Read It episode for it. But I kind of DNF'd it. Well, sort of. It was kind of on accident. I set it down with full intentions on picking it back up, but I didn't really want to. I think I'm just planting this author as a whole on this list because Aragon was the same for me. I really don't care for his books, I've come to realize. And it's not because of him as a person. I'm sure his storytelling is great. He wouldn't be famous for no reason. So many people love him and he's inspired many writers, but we're just not vibing together. His writing throws me off for some reason, and it doesn't give me any serotonin. Ooh, let's create some tea, some drama. I'm a YouTuber, it's gotta exist somewhere. Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Again But Better by Kristen Ruscio. Two OG booktubers who took the path to becoming an author, which is super cool. Two people who the majority of the book community look up to. I myself used to watch these two religiously, but once you start making booktube videos, it's hard to consume the same content that you also create regularly. Full transparency, I really only have like 3 or 4 booktubers I will always watch nowadays, but anyways, yeah, one is a YA contemporary romance, so that's immediately off the table, and another is a YA sci-fi. YA sci-fi has always flopped for me. Sasha Alsberg, great content creator. She turned imposter recently, but we won't get into that. Red is sus for sure. There's your tea for the day. Marissa Meyer has a new book coming out that I have no interest in, even though I did fancy myself the Lunar Chronicles, and I'm pretty sure I'd hate them if I read them now, but that is Instant Karma. Very, very different than what she normally puts out. Well, actually no, it's a YA contemporary romance, and that's basically the Lunar Chronicles, but that's sci-fi. I don't know. I feel like when authors dabble in a new genre, they lose their freaking marbles and it flops, but like I said, it's romance. And Meyer, having written a freaking orgy of character romances in the Lunar Chronicles, it might work. But we're not even going to try giving it a chance in this neck of the woods. A Curse of Dark and Lonely. So when I first started booktube a few years ago, I'd always mention how retellings were my favorite. And now, when a book is promoted to be a fairy tale retelling, it's super off-putting to me. I think I just got so sick of them, and this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, which I feel is so overdone. Also, Beauty and the Beast is not a Disney movie I'm excited about. I'm a Sleeping Beauty Anastasia girl, and Emperor's New Groove. But retellings nowadays seem so uninventive. I don't get it. Like, we keep getting these stories. Okay, everybody complains that we keep getting the same tropes over and over again. I get that there's no new idea under the sun, but retellings are exactly that. Retellings. It's the opposite of a buzzword for me now. Anti-buzzword. There you go. Gosh, what other books am I noping out of? I'm trying not to do anything too obvious, like just put up a list of YA romance because that's cheating and I'm not a cheater. Do I dare throw in the next A Court of Thorns and Roses book on this list? No, this would be a part of the anti-book haul video I did, because I'll be reading it, but I will not be buying a physical copy. You know what? I think that's going to be it for today. Those are a few books I don't care to read. Comment below what books you aren't planning to waste your time on, any releases that are getting a lot of buzz that you're personally not excited about. Subscribe if you haven't. I upload videos every single week, and like this video if you enjoyed. I always appreciate it. Follow me on all my socials and Goodreads. It's all linked down below for you. And until we meet again, happy reading.